We know very well that in the past they liked to make Transformer tiaras. But do you know examples of such tiaras? And today I will tell you about them, and let's start with a very interesting tiara called Meander Transformer Tiara of Countess Villa Gonzalo. This magnificent piece of jewelry is not just a tiara, but a double tiara superimposed one on top of the other. This double-decker tiara of Countess Villa Gonzalo is an exceptional piece forged by the great master jeweler Ansoren around 1900 in Spain. At that time, jewelers were just beginning to use platinum in their pieces. The lightness, strength, and aesthetic allure of this metal inspired unique and intricate designs. The Belle Epoque style tiara, although officially dated 1900, was actually conceived in the 1890s, before platinum became popular in jewelry. The base of the jewelry is made of platinum and set with diamonds totaling approximately 33.5 carats. The design utilizes both individual stones and rose-cut minerals. Yarrow leaves are linked together in open-work wire patterns, creating an exquisite look. Although the whole design looks imposing, it can easily be divided into two parts, each of which is a complete piece of jewelry. The upper part is more airy and graceful, using Greek motifs, laurel leaves, and forget-me-nots to symbolize eternal love and justice. The bottom part is a lace mesh structure with a diamond-shaped centerpiece, which can also be worn as a necklace checker. This unique piece of jewelry was never among the royal treasures, but its owner, a countess, was a frequent visitor to the royal palace. She was a maid of honor to Queen Victoria Eugenia, wife of the Spanish ruler Alfonso X, who, by the way, also supported the Ansoren jewelry house. This tiara has been passed down in the family of the Counts of Villa Gonzalo for many decades, but it has now been put up for auction in London with a starting bid of around $150,000. Keep in mind that this is not the only piece of jewelry from the Villa Gonzalo family's collection to be auctioned. Apparently, the family's financial situation is not so good if they have started selling off family valuables. Previously, a necklace that was often seen in portraits of Countess Villa Gonzalo was sold at Christie's auction. Oh, let's talk about the marvelous pearl transformer tiara that you probably haven't heard of yet. This unique Italian masterpiece became famous in the late 19th century when Princess Margarita of Savoy, marrying her cousin Umberto, not only became queen, but also contributed to the history of fashion. Although her appearance was not always ideal, Margaret attracted attention with her exquisite outfits and magnificent pearl jewelry. She was also famous for her involvement in creating the recipe for the famous pizza, which was then named after Queen Margarita. It is not known whether Margaret rewarded the country's best chefs with jewelry or gold coins. However, the fact that she compensated for her non-ideal appearance with pearls is noteworthy. Marguerite reasoned that the purchase of several gorgeous pearl necklaces for her favorite ruler would be an additional contribution to the treasury of the small kingdom. As time passed, Marguerite became a grandmother and decided to order a unique transformer tiara for a family and national celebration in honor of her grandson's birth. Immediately, she puzzled leading jewelers to create this wonder that could be changed at will. The skilled jeweler Musi used many precious pieces already in the crowned Italian grandmother's possession. Indeed, Margaret of Savoy's passion for pearls led to her being nicknamed the Pearl Regina, Queen Mistress Ruler. Her pearl and diamond tiara became a unique, universal attribute, unrivaled among European ladies of power. The constituent elements of this precious constructor could be combined and remodeled into 8 or 9 different versions. After Margaret of Savoy's death, the tiara and all its precious components were inherited by her grandson. It was his birthday that prompted the creation of this piece of jewelry. It was 1926. Umberto, the heir to the Italian dynasty, also called Umberto, presented his future wife, Maria José of Belgium, with this magnificent headpiece for their wedding day in 1930. The jewelry set was magnificent. The tiara adorned the bride's neat hair, complemented by pendant earrings, an elegant diamond necklace, and a charming brooch pinned to her shoulder. The couple Umberto II and his wife Maria ruled until the end of the monarchical era in Italy. Royalty was abolished in 1946 by popular vote, forcing the former rulers to flee their native country. In effect, they were exiled. When Mary collected her personal belongings, she did not forget the contents of the jewelry boxes. After all, in a foreign land, the jewelry could be sold in case of need and the proceeds used for living expenses. Eventually, the pearl tiara left Italy with its owner. The son of the exiled ex-king, Vittorio Emanuele, Prince of Naples, became the next owner of this historic tiara, and his wife, Princess Marina, does not let the pearly splendor dust behind the walls of the family castles and wears this precious jewel on important occasions. I would like to point out an interesting fact. When Umberto and Maria packed their suitcases, it did not mean that they emptied the entire treasury of Italy and took the royal treasury with them. They left the jewelry, which was not specifically designed for the royal family and was probably considered the property of the country, in a safe deposit box in the state bank. In a small note, the former king wrote, "Let these jewelry items return to their true owners," and with a clear conscience, the deposed monarchs left Italian shores. Of course, there are many such tiaras, and if you want, I can tell you about some more. However, I cannot ignore Princess Margaret's Transformer tiara. This major royal rebel had her own rebellious tiara. Despite having access to any of the crown jewels, Princess Margaret acquired her own majestic piece of jewelry. Why did she choose the Poltimore tiara, and why did she need it? It is often said that the princess purchased the tiara specifically for her wedding. However, this is not entirely true. The jewelry was bought by her a year before her wedding to Anthony, the future Earl Snowdon. The marvelous tiara, once owned by Lady Poltimore, wife of the second Baron Poltimore and treasurer of the House of Queen Victoria, was made at the Garrard firm around the 1870s. In 1959, the Poltimore family decided to put the heirloom up for auction, and Margaret purchased it for what sources claim was an incredibly low price of just £5,500. In fact, this tiara is a transformer, like many other 19th century jewelry pieces. It can be transformed into a fringed necklace and 11 brooches that can be used as standalone jewelry or added to the necklace. The Christie's auction website states that Margaret did not wear this tiara as a tiara before her wedding, but there is speculation that she did wear the jewel in 1959 at a ball to celebrate the arrival of the Shah of Iran, although no relevant photographs have been found. However, photographs of Margaret wearing the jewelry as a necklace have survived. Now back to the question of why she needed her own tiara. There could be several answers. Firstly, Margaret was always considered a spare princess. She had a high level of intelligence, but she had a hard time finding a career for herself. Even within the royal family, she had limited opportunities for self-fulfillment. Historians of the royal family believe that acquiring her own tiara allowed Margaret to emphasize her independence and importance. Another possibility is that Margaret simply loved the magnificent tiara, so she bought it and wore it for the rest of her life. There is one intimate, for those times, photograph that proves that she enjoyed the tiara. A few years after the princess's death in 2006, her ex-husband, photographer Anthony, exhibited a shot of Margaret sitting in a bathtub, topped only by that famous tiara. This photograph is now seen as very chaste, but it revived the memory of the scandalous actions of Margaret, the Queen's sister, whose reputation was always scandalous. After Lord Snowdon's death in 2017, his family removed the image from public view. But nothing will change anymore. The nation will not forget this marvelous but controversial shot. For whatever reason, the princess apparently just couldn't resist the charms of the Poltimore tiara. It always seemed that she and the tiara were made for each other, that no one else could wear it as perfectly. At this time, the whereabouts of this tiara are unknown as her heirs sold it at auction. They had to pay a huge tax to inherit it, so they had to part with this and other jewelry. Which tiara do you remember the most? Thank you for your interest and see you soon.